You make all this money, and we have this interesting life here. Won't you still be wasting your life toiling away at a job you find ridiculous?
Maybe we let that be my business, all right?
Your business?
Okay, you know what? It's too hot for this. I'm gonna go get wet.
We're talking about Revolutionary Road.
So this is with the Revolutionary War, the British and the Americans.
It's a war of some sort going on because they ain't number fighting in this shit.
Don't shoot till you see the whites.
I think they should have just called this "She Puts What Where."
Whoa! What kind of movie is this?
It's not a happy one. Let's put it that way.
No, this is definitely not an upper of a film. It's kind of a Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf without the funny parts.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably the best kind of comparison I've heard of that. This is a movie that it's a very, very well made movie. Everything about this movie is perfectly put together. The problem is the story is so depressing without a single ray of hope that you really don't want to be watching it even while you're watching it.
Yeah, it's about this young couple living in Connecticut, the Wheelers.
Connecticut? That's the worst thing possible.
Well, there you go. Apparently, Connecticut will fuck up a marriage real bad.
The Bushes are from Connecticut.
Oh, it's all over now.
Well, there you go.
I didn't even see that hidden side, that depth.
You see
to this
that?
film.
Why they brought so much misery to the country?
I know what
Well,
the director Sam Mendes was actually just trying to say fuck Bush.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, the metaphor for fucking up this marriage is fucking up the country. No, but this couple, the movie opens up with them just having trouble right off the bat, man. And you see them meet each other. And it starts out kind of sweet. They meet each other. It's Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right.
Ooh,
Back together again.
Together again
since
for the first time.
Well, no, and that's actually the brilliance of this film. Casting these two people that to an entire generation are the star-crossed lovers, seeing what would have happened had they actually gotten married and had to deal with the shit without him dying when they're still in love with one another.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good lesson for everybody who has this great love. If only we could have been together. It's like, y'all probably would have broke up within 6 months.
Yeah, no, this is that kind of movie where they say like 70% of marriages fail. This is the aftermath of all the romantic movies that we've seen because we get about 5 minutes of them looking at each other at a party.
If that.
Yeah, and like saying, oh, we were meant for each other. Do a little dance, make a little love, and the next scene, to the fucking moon, Wheeler, the moon.
It sucks the unrealistic romance right out of it. Like, what's that thing? Oh, Marriage does. Yeah.
No, this movie is not a movie to watch if you are engaged to be married or if you're thinking about marriage. This movie is entirely about how marriages can go terribly, terribly wrong. There isn't a single positive marriage in this film. There are 3 major marriages here. They're all unhappy.
Yeah, and what got me is that these two people, there's no right or wrong. They both get on everybody's fucking nerves. You can understand why they shouldn't be with each other. They shouldn't be with anybody because they're just fighting. I mean, things could be settled. Like once you think one person's wrong, like, oh, Kate Winslet's being a bitch, but no, Leonardo DiCaprio keeps fucking with her, so he's the one that should like be held responsible for this. Because right after we get that scene of them like meeting each other, Kate Winslet has had a bad night. Because in the first scene she says, I want to be an actress. And he's like, well, I'm a working man. And she's like, oh, that's romantic. Let's get together. And then the next scene, she's like, I'm a failed actress. And then he's like, I hate my job. And so, they're riding down the road, man. And she's like, he went to go see a play of hers. And you're thinking like, oh, this is where he went to go see her at her play. It's great. And then you find out, oh no, he's married and she's a terrible actress, so he's like looking at her acting, he's like, "Fuck, she's terrible." And they're going home, and he's like saying he keeps messing with her. He's like saying, "Look, baby, it's okay. The play was bad. These people, the amateurs, are like, it's okay. Be quiet. It's all right." No, really. I mean, you shouldn't have done it. I told you not to do this, but I'm trying to help you. And she's like, I just need some time right now. I appreciate that. Leave me alone. He's like, no, see, I'm trying to help you out. You ain't listening to me. Quit fucking with me. It's like, oh, Jesus, man.
When did this couple become black? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's not how that conversation exactly went.
Well, he's interpreting it for me.
I'm sorry, Ebonics.
I'm sorry. I forgot he was acting as a translator.
Motherfucker.
the things
and then they stopped and had some Church's fried chicken. I'm sorry.
One of the things that like I found upsetting about watching this, and not necessarily in a bad way, and the way they intended, was that these fights were so real. They really are. I've never seen anything that captured so accurately exactly what it's like when you get in a fight with your significant other.
How
Just
would you
the
know?
stupid, irrational shit that you say to each other. This movie, the only way it could have been more realistic is if they were sitting there reading the paper and Leonardo DiCaprio starts farting and she goes, "Oh Jesus!" and he goes,
Well, that's the same way we felt about Knocked Up, where it's like, man, I can't even enjoy this because his fights are so real. There's nothing fun about them.
But he has a point. He's exactly right. I mean, these performances are great, and these fights are very real. The only problem with this is that this movie is all fights except for like maybe the middle where there's a bright ray of hope where they say, we're going to, she's like, because Kate Winslet again comes in and says, you know, baby, you want to do this thing of going to live in France and doing what you want to do. I can support you and let's do that. But of course, it doesn't go that way. And the rest of the movie is them fighting again.
It's like 2 hours at your parents' house. It really is. Wow.
Yeah.
There's moments where it's like, this is why I love home. Oh, wait a second, mom and dad are at it again. Shit.
It really is that kind of couple where you're at their house and you feel uncomfortable because they're fighting, and either you want to kick them out your house or you want to leave from their house, but you can't leave because you don't want to be rude.
Do you guys understand that everything you're saying about this movie is telling me this is my kind of movie and I cannot wait to see it?
Well, now that none of us are talking bad about it. The thing is it's a very good movie.
Yeah.
But it's a very good movie for the type of person who wants to watch that kind of a rough experience in a film.
Yeah, it's a
You
hard
love
watch.
those.
You love the uncomfortable films. You'll probably really like this movie. I really like this movie a lot. I think there was a lot more depth to it than you guys seem to think there was. I think it's really not so much an anti-marriage film as much as it is, look, before you're going to commit to someone for the rest of your life, you better make damn sure that you've done all the stuff you want to do
Right.
for yourself. Don't put things, like part of the problem with their relationship is Kate Winslet's character pictures Leonardo DiCaprio's character as being sort of the same as her, but he's not.
Right.
Sweetheart, what are you talking about? Where are we going to live?
Paris.
What?
You always said it was the only place you'd ever been that you wanted to go back to, the only place that was worth living. So why don't we go there?
You're serious?
Yes. What's stopping us?
What's stopping us? Well, I can think of a number of different things.
He's a guy who's happy just
Yeah.
settling with life, with the normal things. She never was that person, and they let the whole romance part of it, blind them to the truth of who they
That's
really
too
are.
often what goes wrong in a marriage is that the one person is looking for the other person to complete that part of them that's missing.
Yeah.
And in their head, they see it happening and they will almost go for somebody that they subconsciously know won't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to make that happen.
But the problem is that this film is really focused upon how these marriages go wrong and how things get put on the back burner. Where you take that job where it's like, well, I'm going to work here for 3 months while we get our money up, but then we're taking off to France. And then it's like, oh, hey, this came up. Oh, well, you know what? That's great. Well, I'll just work here a little longer and we'll take care of this. And it's watching all those dominoes fall until you wake up one morning and go, fuck, what happened to my life? Why am
Yeah.
I here? And this movie is all about waking up and saying, why am I here?
No, we didn't talk about one of the best things about this movie, which was a supporting actor guy in this. What's this actor's name?
Michael Shannon.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
This is the guy
guy's
from
great.
Bug who played the crazy guy there. He's crazy once again as one of the neighbors' demented sons who's kept in a mental institution, and he comes out for weekend furloughs, and they bring him over to meet this nice family who's his age. And
Oh my God.
He's the Cassandra of the movie. He's the guy. It's not going to work out. It's all terrible. Don't you see? And he's absolutely right about everything he says
Well,
or thinks. But in this
yeah.
culture, he sounds crazy.
You've met my brother, and
Yes.
you've heard me tell stories about my cousin.
Yes.
That guy is those two people. He comes in and he just says whatever's on his mind in other people's house. It's like, I'm in your house and I'm going to tell you how fucked up you are.
Right.
But the thing is that he's telling the truth. And while that's a very obvious character, that performance is great.
You a lawyer, Frank?
No, I'm not.
I could use a lawyer.
John, let's not get started again about the lawyer.
Pop, couldn't you just sit there and eat your wonderful egg salad and quit horning in? See, I've got a good many questions to ask, and I'm willing to pay for the answers. Now, I don't need to be told that a man who goes after his mother with a coffee table is putting himself in a weak position legally. That's obvious.
John, come have a look out this fabulous picture window.
If he hits her with it and kills her, that's a criminal case.
Oh, look, the sun is coming out.
If all he does is break the coffee table and give her a certain amount of aggravation, and she decides to go to court over it, that's a civil case.
Maybe we'll have a rainbow. John, come have a look.
Ma, how about doing everybody a favor? How about shutting up?
Every performance in this movie.
Favor? How about shutting up?
Every performance in this movie is great. Every direction in this movie is great. The score to this movie is great.
Absolutely.
And,
Which
and
is,
even
I think, done by the same guy who did American Beauty and
Sam Mendes.
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
Sam Mendes is the director.
Yeah,
Is it direct? Oh, you're talking about
the guy
the
who did the
screenwriter.
soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack.
Yeah,
Is it? I wouldn't know. I'm
it
sorry.
sounds a lot like the same
Yeah, it
guy
does.
from his first two.
But it's an amazing score for this movie. The only problem I have with this is that it is just one track. I mean, it is just constant fighting. And I agree with you. I understand where you're coming from, where you say this is just something about where the conventions of that time period are placed on people, and it's hard to get out of it because, well, that's what you expect it to be. But I'm with you, man. This movie just seems to have this total hatred of marriage, and it has nothing nice to say about it. I would love to see what Sam Mendes would do with like the Flintstones or I Love Lucy or
That's what I'm
the
saying.
honeymoon.
It's surprising since he painted such a beautiful picture of marriage in American Beauty.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see like Fred coming in beating the shit out of Wilma or something. You know,
I know,
this guy wrote-
and Wilma grinding glass into his food.
The problem is with American Beauty, even though it ends with what should be one of the most depressing endings of all time, it's actually a serious upper because it's all about how your life can turn around and how you can pull it out even in the last year of your
Right.
life. This movie is like, oh no, you ain't pulling out shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
No,
And that's what it is.
The only way out is death.
well, I don't want to say too much, but it definitely presents that as an option. That's
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
I'm not saying that. You know, I'm not even giving away the ending. It just says like you are really trapped
This
if
guy
you get
Michael
married.
Shannon. I didn't see Bug, but his name sounds familiar.
He was. I mean, you've seen him before. The guy looks crazy too. I mean, they couldn't have picked a better guy to play that role because
You
he
think
looks
any
insane.
other movie he's been in?
Yeah, he was in that Oliver Stone 9/11 movie. He was the one that actually he was the
World Trade Center.
World Trade Center. He was the
see that
Marine that. Oh, you didn't see? Well, fuck, man, I can't tell you then.
You've never seen him before. Then.
Here, motherfucker, this is him right there.
Google him.
You've seen that guy.
that dude.
That dude.
yeah, I know him.
IMDb right there. Why don't you look and see what other movies?
Wait, hold on. There he is.
Yeah, there. No, and the guy's he's actually one of my favorite actors because he's a character actor that you don't get to see too much of, but whatever he's in, he's actually great. He was in 8 Mile. He was the one that was fucking with Eminem. He was the one that was married to his mom.
Everybody was fucking with Eminem in that movie.
Okay, he wasn't the black person that was fucking with Eminem.
He was the white guy fucking.
No,
Okay,
that
all right.
guy. If it wasn't such a convoluted period where there's so many movies and so many great performances right now, is this movie coming out? This is for Oscar consideration?
Yeah, it's for Oscar consideration. It goes, I think, wide on January 6th.
I think it's January 6th.
Okay, this guy definitely is, in my opinion, one of the best supporting roles we've had this year.
I'd be shocked if he didn't get a nomination for best supporting.
Yeah,
actor
he was
at the
great,
Oscars.
man. He is right too. He just comes in and just pretty much you can sum up his lines as in saying, "You people, I might be crazy, but you are fucked up." Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out.
he was great, but
Yeah.
he didn't even show up on our list. I mean, he was on there. Nobody
I
ended up
nominated
voting
him
for him.
Well, him, the obvious one, and the guy from Happy Go Lucky.
The obvious one. Can we just refer to him as the man formerly known as Heath Ledger?
No, I just don't want to say it out loud because someone will go, "Oh, who do you think is going to be the villain in the next Batman film?"
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Kate Winslet.
No, Leonardo DiCaprio would be Robin in the next movie. But I will tell you this much: this is the movie where I actually saw Leonardo DiCaprio as being an older guy. Never did I once think of him as being
No,
a
this
young
is the first
Yeah.
movie it's worked that I believe him
Yeah,
as a grown up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I mean,
even then, he's only, as a grown up, he's only 30.
yeah, I know, but but I thought he might have been older. That's the thing.
You know what? You got to give him for his good taste in the ladies, because he has a couple of different ladies in this film.
Oh man, yeah, he's riding elevators and hoes, just looking at him like, he's like, I'm unhappy. You goddamn right, I'm gonna tap this shit.
I love the Corey Coleman scene in this movie. He spent this day whining and dining this girl, takes her out to lunch, teaches her how to call in, calls in so that she's covered at work. She's had a few too many martinis. Next scene is her naked in bed and him pulling on his pants, going, "Well, baby, that was great. I got to go home. Did you have fun? I had fun.
You know what? He should have do that. He picks a kid's man like, fuck off.
Thanks for the party, kid.
Yeah. But I mean, really, man, it's a very good movie that has everything going for it, but the script. And because, like I said, the script is just very one note to me. I mean, it almost, I don't know what message it's even trying to have, but whatever it is, near the end of the movie, I was like, I get it, man. It just sucks. Okay. I mean, what more do you need to tell me?
I don't even want to say that it's a script as much as it's just a story, because what's there is very well written. It's a very well written movie that conveys everything it wants to do. I just think that the story they want to tell is just too heavy and too dark.
Yeah, I agree with that, because they put in, I thought what was clever about the movie, they were able to pull in like Leave It to Beaver type colloquialisms in this movie.
Yeah.
It almost takes like a Leave It to Beaver scenario and mixes it in with very adult, just vulgar slang. I mean, because there are moments where they actually use like the word swell. It's almost like, we really didn't have a swell time tonight, but you fucked it up, bitch.
So it's like Mad Men.
Yeah, kind of like Mad Men. Yeah, they actually take these scenarios where we were used to seeing the 50s as being a very sweet and innocent age, and they play that up. And in this movie, they do that, but they bring it in with the realism of what life is probably really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we have this picture due to entertainment from then, like everything was great, people got along better then. I mean, that wasn't what it was really like.
Yeah.
That was just the Hollywood image of it. The truth was just like it is now. People had lots of problems. People were complex beings. They were incredibly unhappy, and they did fucked up shit to each other.
Well, I mean, as much as I'm complaining about this movie, I just said everything is good for it except for like I said, whether it be the script or the story, or whatever. It has a lot going for it. I would give it a matinee.
See, this worked for me on pretty much every level, except that I came out of it very depressed. I mean, I agree with you, Carlisle, that yeah, it's real heavy, but I don't think that's a mark against it. I mean, it's just a type of film. So is Requiem for a Dream, and that's one of my favorite movies of all time. This is a full price movie, but not one that's going to make everybody happy. It's definitely a companion piece to American
Would it make
beauty.
happy?
Well, you know what I'm saying. Not happy like
attorneys.
Yeah, divorce court.
Not happy like but happy like
Sure. What would you give it? God damn it.
I said full price.
Oh, full price. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, damn. Pay attention.
I'm sorry.
I think it's a full price movie with a rental story. I've got to stick with rental on it. It's worth checking out, but it's nothing you have to see in the theater.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
That's interesting.
I love the combinations we have here. It's a matinee movie with a rental store and 6 3/4 rental. That's awesome.
6 3/4 rental, yeah.
With a twist.
It's got the most complicated rating system of
We
all
do. I thought it was simple. We got so much bang for our buck here.
It's a better than sex plot with some old bullshit
with a fuck you dialogue.
Fuck you dialogue.
I'm just saying, hey, all I'm saying is it's an incredibly well-made movie. There is not a flaw to be found in this movie, except that it's just so heavy that I wouldn't recommend everybody run out and see it.
All I know, April, is I want to feel things. Really feel them.
I think you're the most interesting person I've ever met.